as we heard from MPD's testimony, the feds already use FRT, but do the feds already have direct access to 2.5 million MPD mugshots and booking records? I appreciate the opportunity to testify in opposition to the direct or indirect use of facial recognition technology by the Milwaukee Police Department. While local law enforcement agencies, including MPD, may have good intentions, history reminds us how quickly larger systems can override those intentions. At this point in time, the proliferation and use of surveillance tech by MPD or any law enforcement agency should give everyone pause. We are already seeing how surveillance tech is being weaponized in real time. Data collected in Milwaukee does not stay in Milwaukee. Once our data enters a federal pipeline or a database connected to surveillance tools in the private sector, it can be accessed, shared, and used in ways we cannot predict or stop. Data gathered from facial recognition, automated license plate readers, artificial intelligence, and other surveillance tools are being used to target and detain individuals. DHS is rapidly expanding its surveillance interface in local communities for immigration enforcement. Surveillance is being used to monitor and prosecute political protesters, people seeking reproductive health care, LGBTQ individuals, and doctors trying to provide care. These are not projections. They are present-day realities carried out by bad actors in the federal government and other local jurisdictions. Several specific examples are detailed in our written testimony. I have a whole lot of copies, also a copy of the National ACLU's comments to the U.S. Commission on Civil Rights, if anyone in the room would like a copy.
Yeah, I can grab some right now.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you.
FRT consistently shows racial and gender biases that persist despite improvements in algorithm training data. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about that from the public tonight. FRT has led to wrongful arrests of many individuals across the country, as outlined in our written comments. Nearly every one of those people wrongfully arrested are Black. Across the country, police often omit material information about FRT use from search and arrest warrant applications to judges, sometimes completely concealing the fact of their reliance on FRT as part of the investigation. Inadequate disclosures continue post-arrest, where prosecutors routinely resist turning over adequate information about FRT use as part of their pretrial disclosure obligations under Brady and other doctrines. In Milwaukee, I have heard in some cases where the use of FRT was never disclosed in discovery, and in other cases, attempts to get information about FRT algorithms were blocked because, again, that information was proprietary. Speaking of transparency, I want to emphasize that it is ludicrous that MPD has been using FRT from neighboring police agencies for 2 to 3 years without transparency and despite no local policy in place. We don't know the extent of, we don't know which agencies and the complete list. There were a couple mentioned, but there may be more. Finally, what MPD is proposing, exchanging 2.5 million jail records for 2 free biometrical licenses, one for MPD and one for the Fusion Center. To be clear, the premise of Fusion Centers is to share real-time information with federal law enforcement and other jurisdictions. The company says, don't worry, we use a third-party facial recognition service to match images. It's not our algorithm. They describe themselves as a big data company rather than a biometrics provider. That makes me more concerned. Biometrica operates the UMBRA database, which stands for Unique Mission to Build Records and Arrests. Quote, a real-time, multi-jurisdictional database providing search capabilities against criminal records for lawful investigations and security purposes. A Biometrica contract signed by police in another jurisdiction requires police to provide Biometrica with continued direct access to historical and real-time booking and warrant data. That's concerning when another one of Biometrica's products, called eMotive, is a database system for organizations, private entities, to monitor employees or individuals continuously, notifying them via encrypted alert upon potential arrests. Jailer booking.
Can you say that one more time and explain what that means?
Sure. So a lot of this is from Biometrica's website, and I'm not sure exactly how the system works, but my inference is that the same company that is trying to get MPD to sign this contract has a separate product that they sell to private entities called eMotive, E-M-O-T-I-V-E, which, quote from their website, is a database system for organizations to monitor employees or individuals continuously, notifying them via encrypted alert upon potential arrests. So my guess, but I'm not sure, is, we feed our faces, 2.5 million faces from the Milwaukee community into this UMBRA database that is then accessible to all the other jurisdictions that are getting their 2 free licenses. Then there are folks who maybe purchase other products are then able to know if someone is booked into a particular jail.
Can you, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good.
The emotive example, as an example of the scope of what Biometrica does already.
Correct.
You said that they were surveilling people until they were found to be arrested, and surveilling employees until they were found to be arrested somewhere else?
So I think my understanding is like if I'm a company and I want to like monitor my employees so that if an employee of mine is arrested and I get an automatic notification of
Let
that.
your employer know that you
Right.
were arrested
Right.
automatically.
So I assume that like there's some database, maybe Umbra, that is kind of feeding into these systems that can provide like real-time updates to whoever is subscribing to that product. Jailer booking records include people who were never charged with a crime, had their case dismissed, or were acquitted. We know that facial recognition automates discrimination. So the ACLU of Wisconsin is also calling on Milwaukee leaders to say no to FRT in Milwaukee, to ban the practice full stop, and also to make sure that, you know, for every surveillance technology that is used in the city, of which there are many, that there is community control and input and transparency in the decision-making about whether to continue using that technology. Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda Merkwae, we appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Y'all should take one of Amanda's information packets and just pass them
Yeah.
down the road.